the life you live in now is the dividends from how you think, speak, and feel. Right? The life you live in now is the dividends from the way you think, speak, and feel. So when you talk to me about financial liberation, I'm like, yo, we here. This the dividends of me thinking about wealth. This the dividends of me thinking about the market. Watch this. When you make some money in the market and somebody say you only had that because they think, speak, and feel from a poverty perspective, they'll never be on the same accord with you. Now think about it. In order to be liberated, it means it's the act of setting someone free from oppression. So when we think about oppression, we think about being held down. We think about being anchored. We think about being embedded, overwhelmed. We think about being suffocated. But when we say financial liberation, we want to talk about how do we get you to that point where you understand that freedom is like a necessity. Freedom is a necessity. I come to that conclusion in my brain because what happens is we start to normalize being oppressed. We start to normalize behaviors that keep us stuck in a certain place. We talking about behaviors that now root us to where we've been. We talking about behaviors that keep us chained, shackled. And then what happens is when you're chained and shackled to a certain place, you start to develop a certain outlook. You start to develop certain feelings. You start to develop certain insights. You start to normalize things that are unfamiliar. Like I remember coming up, it was familiar for me to see cans that had pork, beef, and cereal on it. Like I normalized that. Like it was so normal to me, I didn't even know that wasn't supposed to be a thing. We was poor in a way that it was so normal when we saw certain things. We was like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, you got to put the patch on your pants to go to school? That's cool. You got to fold your sock at the bottom to keep the hole from the bottom of the shoe? Nah, that's normal. That's okay. You gonna get the new pair of shoes for Christmas and birthdays? Okay, cool. So what happens when we start to normalize conditions that are subpar? What happens when we start to normalize subpar conditions? I want us to understand when we talk financial liberation, here's the 3 things that we got to put into one formula. How you think, how you speak, and what you do normalizes what you become. So when we start talking about financial liberation, we got to first change how you think, how you speak, and what you do. Because all of those things become the byproduct of a feeling that you feel. And whether we realize it or not, we only move in life based on how we feel. I thought about that. And I said, the reason why I love the idea of, Jose, I lost $100,000 today. But because I love the game so much, I was like, bro, this ain't nothing. Like, yeah, all right, that means there's an opportunity for me to go get 300,000. So the 100,000 loss got me excited. But the only way I can be excited about that is because, one, I think about freedom. I think about the market printing me money a different way than other people. And because I think about it a different way, I talk about it a different way. And because I talk about it a different way, it causes me to have a behavior that doesn't align with other people, which now creates an emotion and allows me to execute in a different way. So financial liberation can only come about when you feel a certain way about freedom that others don't. So when I think about money, when I think about freedom, when I think about not living paycheck to paycheck, because 62% of Americans live that way, so you've normalized living paycheck to paycheck, so now you already spend your overtime money before you get it. You already spend your taxes before you get it. If you got a couple dollars left after you pay your bills, you spending that because you already know you've put a cap on your financial liberation. So when I tell you about investing, when you paid $2 million in taxes, there's no way you should pay that. Why? You lost $100,000 a day? There's no way I wouldn't have my head ringing. Why? The market prints money. For every dollar I so-called lose, I can go get, like Jose, if I was an investor, my ROI is something like 35, 40. For every $1 I put in, I'm going to get 40. Like I'm a good investment. You get high returns off investing with me. We a growth stock, and I'm 41. I'm like Amazon after it's been negative for 25 years. I start giving you 100% rate of return every time you see me. 50%, 60%. Watch this. When it comes to your financial liberation, when it comes to you, if you was a stock, I want you to honestly ask yourself, what has your return been the last 5 years on you? Yeah. What's your last 5-year return been on you? If I'm looking back at your growth record, I'm like, all right, 2019, he gave me 20%. 2020, he gave me 25%. 2021, he returned 30%. But somewhere around 2022, 2023, he went through another stratosphere. He went in NVIDIA mode. He gave me 100%. He gave me 200%. He gave me 200% in 6 months. What's your financial liberation looking like? Let's go a little back, though. I want to ask us the question. How do we think about the freedom? What do we speak on about our freedom? What's the emotion that's generated about our freedom? Because those three create the life that we live based off the action that we're willing to take. All right, let me say it a different way. The life you live in now is the dividends from how you think, speak, and feel. Right? The life you live in now is the dividends from the way you think, speak, and feel. So when you talk to me about financial liberation, I'm like, yo, we here. This the dividends of me thinking about wealth. This the dividends of me thinking about the market. Watch this. When you make some money in the market and somebody say you only had that because they think, speak, and feel from a poverty perspective, they'll never be on the same accord with you. Because they only think that you are where you are because of certain situations and certain scenarios, never because you put in the work. So you got people that think, well, Trap, of course you made $100,000. You got $1 million in the market. But you ain't gonna go back to 2018 when I was sleeping on the air mattress. How did I get there? Because I thought, I spoke, and I felt a certain way about the market. So everything I said to myself was an empowering statement. Never nothing that disempowered me. The problem is you too comfortable. One, thinking disempowerment, and two, speaking to people who fertilize disempowerment in your life. That's what you too comfortable with. You letting people fertilize their fears on you. So when I speak financial liberation, you don't want no part of that. Financial liberation is a byproduct of how we think, speak, and feel. And the reason why it's a byproduct of those three is because when you think, speak, and feel a certain way, the action that you put in coincides with the other three. And I never stopped thinking, speaking, and feeling a certain way. I paid $2 million in taxes. I'm laughing. You got people in the chat mad at me for paying $2 million, and I'm laughing about it. We had a $100,000 L today. I'm laughing about it. You got people in the chat mad at me because I'm laughing about it. Why? It ain't nothing but a couple dollars. But guess what? Somebody who thinks, speak, and feel a different way gonna say, you only saying that because you got $1 million. You only saying that because you got a certain type of money. Anybody that ever speaks to you in that way moving forward in 2024, you got to get them from around you. Anybody that has a but behind your success, anybody that has a just because behind your success, anybody that has the reason why behind your success, anybody that has a, if that was me behind you, want to get them from around you. You need to get them from around you. Because believe it or not, they anchoring you. They fertilizing their fears in you. You got to leave them behind. They say in order to conquer the mountain, you got to burn the boat. And sometimes the boat still got to have passengers on it. Yep. Sometimes you got to burn the boat because the boat still going to have passengers on it. And the reason why you got to burn the boat with the passengers on it, because they're going to be a liability to your success. They're going to be a liability. You trying to go up the mountain, they talking about, that's 18. We got to go through lions, tigers, and bears. I don't got no water. I ain't got the right shoes on. I need to cross my T's and dots. You got to burn them. Listen, there's a thing called casualties of war. My cousin was in the army. They called POWs. Casualties, all of them the same thing. Burn a boat. Burn a boat. Sometimes a boat still got people on it. You know, I always say when somebody drowning, you got two options. You gotta knock them out or let them go, because they're gonna kill you in the process. Financial liberation, y'all. We can't let another year go by saying what we gonna do. We can't let another year go by where we letting stocks run up through the moon and we not taking a part of it. We can't let another year go by where people increasing their wealth by billions of dollars. They having a 3-man race for who being the richest person in the world, and it's just February. It's just February. That thing done changed 3 times. When I was coming up, Bill Gates was the richest man in the world forever. Jose, from the 90s, I just was Bill Gates. That done changed 5 times in the last 5 years. The richest man in the world done that title done changed hands 3 to 4 times in the last 5 years, but yet and still your paycheck, your income, your purchasing power ain't changed. Your credit score went down instead of up. Your savings done got depleted instead of increasing. Your bank account done went negative, insufficient, instead of abundantly overflowing. You ain't got you done put the first deposit in your account and you ain't did nothing after that. But you blaming everybody but your ability to do something. Jose, I said, it's easier to get money than to find love, and people attack me. I said, because getting money is you on the internet. There's a million ways to get money. But you know what they told me, Jose? Oh, it's because you sell courses. Them people can't be around you. What they fail to realize when I said easy, even when I worked the stadium in a power plant, Jose, that was easy to me. Because I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working 300, 400 feet in the air, doing something I felt nobody couldn't do. Then I started understanding if I invest 70% of my income, oh, this is gonna change my life. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was easy to me. You know what's hard? Going to a job every day, I gotta decompress from that when I get in the car. doing something. Right? Doing something. When 12, I gotta leave my job. I gotta leave my vacation early because my vacation money done stopped because I ain't put in enough hours. They ain't give me enough PTO. They ain't give me enough sick days. You can't roll them 6 days over. That free financial liberation is living a life every day that you never got to take a vacation from. Even if you're still working. It ain't about the job. It's about the way you think, speak, and feel that creates an action. And the action puts you in position to be free. Episode 81 is about our financial liberation. This the year, y'all. This the year. What we waiting on? While the trap, I'm waiting on the market to crash. Well, here's what happens. You waiting and other people getting money. Let me rephrase that. You waiting and everybody else printing money. And then when the market do crash, you gonna say, I'm waiting for the market to go back up. You gotta pick a side. You gotta pick an action. Change your vocabulary. Change the mindset. Change what you're saying. Change the people you're around. I'm going to keep it 100. Ain't nobody around me don't feel like they could be a millionaire. If they do, they need to get from around me because all I talk about is how we going to get some more money. And not just from working, but how that market going to print us so more money. How do we put as much money in the market as we can? My dog B was in with me the other day. I said, B, I done hit him. For, B got on the phone. He cursed E-Trade out. Hey, I done called y'all 7 times. Y'all, his words, y'all making me miss my money. Mr. Ramsey, we apologize. You can't be around me. It ain't about working hard as me. It's about, I got to invest as much as Trap do. He ain't stopping. You know why? Because even Ronald Reagan said we're only one generation away from losing the freedom that we acquire. You one generation away from losing the freedom that you acquire. So when people be saying, wealthy people greedy, in my mind, I'm like, they ain't greedy. What happens is they know when they die. When they die, there's still people that come behind them that they want to be free. But you'll never understand that. Because when you die, everybody behind you still poor. You ain't changed your family's last name. You ain't increased your family's purchasing power. So my question to you is this. Are you the asset or the liability of the family? And I'll be honest, if you ain't increasing the family's purchasing power, if you ain't changing the beliefs, if you ain't changing the systems, if you ain't changing the dynamics, if you ain't implementing and injecting new information, then you a liability. You part of the reason why y'all still poor. And I promise you, I know people that's millionaires that's poor. Because while they got all the things, when they die, if they lose a certain thing, everything goes. I ain't talking about I'm talking about being asset rich. Not material rich. Don't be material rich and asset poor. That ain't financial liberation. Don't be cash rich and asset poor. That ain't my financial liberation. True wealth is about accumulating assets, and those assets secure your freedom.